The sweat off my jock strap is better than the next best high-performance coach. The brain cells I will lose tonight, I'm going to make an exception, I'm going to drink tonight. The brain cells I will lose tonight on the 2 or 3 double martinis I have are more brain cells than the whole fucking industry has, cumulatively, since Christ. Did I answer your question? You're right, I don't give a shit about you. Go drop dead. And if your parents are honest with you, which they're not, I can prove to you in this room that at least 50% of you are unwanted children. At least, probably more. I'm just going to give you 2 tests. You answer them yourself, not out loud. It's obvious if there's 9, 10 years apart of kids. Forget, that's an easy one. I'm going to make a joke. A Polish PhD could figure that one out, right? Okay. But it's been proven that in the tummy, mommy's tummy, from the 2nd trimester on, the kid can hear voices outside. So now you come home, your dad comes home, or your father comes home from work and says, and your mother says, I'm going to have a baby. And he says, you stupid fat bitch, will you get pregnant again? You heard it. Huh? But you still could, it still doesn't matter if you're the first child. And it's not this new game that now they get married after the kid's born. And the newest game, which kills me, we're pregnant, Dad. What do you mean? What the fuck you mean we're pregnant? Who's we're? You got a mouse in your pocket? I think that's insulting to me as a man. We're pregnant. And I'm sure some of you have, I can just tell by the looks on your face. Do you realize on how many fucking levels that's wrong? And you want to know why men are weenies now? Next question. No, dude, Jesus, scared me. Don't scare me.
Is it all? I want to ask you, why are you doing this? First of all, I thought that you want to applause and want to people attention, but now I really don't know why you train us and you just want to change our life. But
no, I don't give a fuck about your life.
Exactly. That's
I
why.
mean, if you dropped dead there with a mic up your ass, I wouldn't lose one iota of sleep.
Exactly, that's what I think. So
I think I'm telling you now. That's exactly the truth.
So why are you doing this?
I'm doing this for selfish reasons. I am currently the greatest high-performance coach that ever was born, lived, or walked the planet. I don't need that. And the numbers speak for themselves. Nobody talks about numbers because nobody's produced any fucking numbers. I am the only human being that talks about numbers. Because I'm the only human being that's produced any of them. And that was before the 500 billion. Now I fully believe I will be the $1 trillion man in my lifetime. I do it because I'm selfish. When they talk about me when I'm dead someday, and I plan on living at least 50 more years, they're going to talk, right now they talk about Buddha, Allah, Christ, Dan. Then they're going to talk about Dan, Allah, Christ, Buddha. I mean, Think and Grow Rich and Napoleon Hill will be a fucking afterthought. There is nobody that's even remotely close. I mean, the sweat off my jock strap is better than the next best high-performance coach. The brain cells I will lose tonight, I'm going to make an exception, I'm going to drink tonight. The brain cells I will lose tonight on the 2 or 3 double martinis I have are more brain cells than the whole fucking industry has, cumulatively, since Christ. Did I answer your question? You're right, I don't give a shit about you. Go drop dead. We've had a woman, psychiatrist, a Muslim, pass out in the seminar, crash her head on one of the beams. We didn't stop. We just kept on rolling. At the break at 10:30, they went and helped her. She wasn't going to die. It'd have been bad luck for me if she had, but she didn't. So I can say that. And her twin sister was in the room, a psychiatrist, a doctor. And I mean, she fought, I'm gonna go help, stay where you are, or you're going home early, bitch. And guys and gals, this is how they are. Oh, I wish I was making it up. But this is how they are. They're ruthless bastards. And why you don't know this, I have no fucking idea. They just are. All this feminine shit that's coming out about Weinstein and all these people, that's been going on 100 years in corporate world. At least 100. It's awful. I'm not condoning it in the least. It's hard for me. I'm a big, good-looking guy, and when I was a young man and single, I got more ass than a toilet seat at a bus station. I don't understand how anybody would have to force anybody to do anything, but that's me. And I wouldn't know a condom if you threw one on the ground here, but that's me. Do you realize people, I have a mentee, Jason Capital. Anybody know Jason? He teaches you how to get laid. He charges meatheads like these two here between $40 a month and $3,000 a month to be sexually attractive. I said, are you fucking kidding me? When I part of my weekly report, you have to list something that scared you. Every day you got to list something that scared you. I'd really like to see what you'd list. And you know what they list? I got a girl's phone number. I asked for a phone number at the gym. I asked the girl if she'd sit and have a coffee with me at Starbucks. Are you fucking... Are you kidding me? Guys are weenies now. Look at you. I got kicked the shit out of this whole fucking room by myself. They told me I should worry about security. Not you. I said, are you kidding me? When I was in Toronto, Canada, I brought a cricket bat. And it was one of my props, and they finally came up, well, why do you have a cricket bat, Mr. Pena? And Toronto, University of Toronto is an upper echelon, top 25 school on the planet, supposedly. And I said, they said I should be worried about security from you, and I laughed, and they laughed too. And then they said, well, what do you do with a cricket bat, Mr. Pena? Now, let's think about the question. What do you do with a cricket bat, Mr. Pena? I split your fucking head open, asshole. What do you think I do with it? And then he said, when was the last time you used a cricket bat, Mr. Pena? And I said it was 2005 or 6 in India. We had an altercation, and they had 15 or so thugs roll up on motorcycles trying to intimidate me. 15 of them. Didn't work out that way for them. They had a bad fucking day. And now, if somebody spits in your wife's face, well, I'd reconsider and maybe had a bad day and I just walked the other way. Walk the other way. He just spit in your wife's face. And you give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he had a bad day. And we're sitting here in Poland. The 1940, I mean, I can go on and on, can't I? That guy'd be needing a funeral. He'd need a eulogy giver. Other question.
Sir, thank you for your speech. I was first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Where
so
are
my
you?
question. Yeah, I'm
here.
here.
Yeah, there you are. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so one more time. Thank you for your speech. My question is really short.
Well, then don't make it long. Let's go.
What are your golden rules which guide you in decision-making process to achieve success?
1,000 rules?
No, golden rules.
Oh.
Could you name at least
honest,
3?
moral, ethical. That's it.
Could you repeat, please?
Yeah, honest, moral, and ethical. Everything else goes. Most of you are married for the wrong reasons. Most of you had kids for the wrong reasons. You're a product of marriages for the wrong reasons. I mean, most of you should kick the bitches, or the girls should kick the guys to the curb. Most guys now get into a relationship because they can't get laid by somebody, so they marry them. I mean, these are all the wrong reasons, kids. In case, you know, the golden rule is, you know, be all you can be every day of your life. So we go out to see a friend of mine. Is on the Hall of Fame, went to one of my first seminars. His wife had died, but was brought back to life. She didn't die, okay. So, and I know Mary. So I went to see her and I said, you got to tell me about this experience. She says, well, I dropped dead in my son's rehearsal dinner, night before he got married. I dropped dead into the dessert, with her face in the dessert. And I said, no way, yeah. And I said, then what, then what? And they tried to bring me back, We had 2 doctors there, a fibrillator. They broke a bunch of my ribs. I'm dead. So the paramedics come 15, 20 minutes later. They load her in the thing and they take her away. She's dead. On the trip to the hospital, there's 2 paramedics, an old guy and a young guy. The young guy says, can I practice on her? I mean, she's gone. And I thought he was going to, that kind of practice, which happens all the time in case you don't, it's called coprophilia. But I mean, you're looking at me like I'm making this shit up. Anyway, so he gives her 3 jolts. On the 3rd jolt, she sits up and is alive, like a Frankenstein movie. Okay, now they replace her plug in her heart, blah, blah, blah. So now it's 6 weeks later, she's standing in her kitchen. And I said, what happened? She said, I knew. What did you see? I didn't see any pearly lights. She said, I saw black. Well, I know you're going to hell because you're a ruthless bitch. I know you a long time. She says, yeah, but I saw every regret that I ever had since I'm 1 or 2 years old till me dropping dead into my son's rehearsal dessert flashed by me in millionths of a second. We're all energy. So all her regrets, the things she didn't do to that moment. She says, I knew you'd want to hear that. Well, if it's the truth, she says, yes. But she says, oh, I want to show me the chakra shit. I don't believe that. So in the kitchen, with my wife standing there with a glass of red wine, I went through the mumbo jumbo again, and I did it again. And I saw her. Now, people ask me, don't you want to do it again, Dan? No. Don't you care why you did it, Dan? No. Don't you think you could help people? I don't give a fuck. I've done a lot of things nobody else can do. But me seeing through my chakra doesn't enhance. I mean, legitimately, I could be a charlatan like all the other charlatans, and I could sell you a podcast or some sort of link and to show you how to do it. But I would be a disingenuous hypocrite if I did anything like that. But regrets. Another question.
I have been talking to like 28 billionaires myself, and from what
I'm not interested in your deals.
No, I don't want to make a deal with you. It's just, you know, the fun of the game, of the
No.
business.
The fun of the game is I manage 110 portfolios, 110 of you. 110 of you. I know more about, this is another commentary. Let's just say that these dipshits right here, 5 were my mentees, and they're my mentor programs for free. I will know more than each one of you on your businesses than you do in 30 days. I will know 100 times more on his, and his business in 30 days. So if I know more about their business times 110, because there's about 110 kids that I manage at once, what does that say about your real devotion to your idea? Either you're stupid, which many of you are. I mean, thick, imbecile, idiot. Somebody was trying to have me define the difference between an imbecile and an idiot. And I said, I don't know. I don't deal with any of those. But I've done it with 80 IQs to 180 IQs. The 80 IQ did a 400 million pound deal. The 80 IQ did a 40 million pound deal. Does that tell you something? The 80 IQ was a joiner, a carpenter. The 80 IQ was a master's in computer science, bullshit, yada, yada. Summa cum laude or something. You can't manage 100 businesses and do one yourself and do it well. That's why I don't do it for myself. I don't help my kids either. And there's nobody, I'm not passing the baton off to anybody. None of my kids would do this if I gave them $1 billion. My daughter would say, looking at you, why you would come and listen to my father is beyond my comprehension. Are these people sick? Do they realize what they're getting themselves into? They just think you're bullshitting, Dad. They don't know you don't give a fuck if they drop dead. We've only had one nervous breakdown this year at my kids. It's a light year. Because I drive you. You know, a horse, when you ride a horse, it doesn't give up. It rides till it dies. I ride you till your fucking arms and legs fall off. And then I keep riding you. Do you know that Usain Bolt, the great sprinter that just retired, right? The Jamaican guy. Every workout he did, until the last race, which he didn't win, right? He got a bronze medal. Every race prior to that race, he worked out until he threw up. He knew his workout was complete when he threw up. Threw up. His body was spent because he threw up. Do you work that hard till you throw up? And guess what happened? He didn't win his last race, did he? So he went out a fucking loser. After 10 years of the greatest running history the world has ever known. Because he cut back a little. I'm told, I don't know, it's not important what I'm told. I don't want to disparage the guy after 10 years of great athletic endeavors. You guys, if you get a migraine headache, you take off. If you got diarrhea, you take off. If your wife calls you to come home and let's have a little. It's not for everybody, kids.
The one who was a refugee and then
Correct.
now a lawyer. Yeah, I would like to know him.
Well, you're not going to know him. Oh, one of the things, this is not a networking event. If people in my group talk to each other, they're out of the program. If I find out about it, and I do, they're out of the program. Because you don't share best of best practices. You share that your weenie's only this long and you can't put it in anything. You share all the misery, the fear, the sadness. Well, I can't go without talking to my mother. I have women that talk to their mother 15 fucking times a day on the phone. 15! That's called neuroses. No, we don't, it's not networking. Don't be trying to link face or tweet fuck any of the, I mean, they won't return it. So what's your next question?
The next one is, when studying rolling ups, do you recommend that we start with businesses that have high grossings, as in, like, say, for example, $10 million as compared to, like, a business with $100,000? Do we start big or we start small when you're doing the roll-up?
As big as your eyes are. The bigger, the better. But the first deal is the most important. Even if the first deal is only $1 million, you got to do a first deal, because then you're talking about not something you're going to do, you're talking about something you did. The banks treat you differently, your dream team treats you differently, the whole world changes. You know, they're still talking about the deals I did from decades ago, but the most important thing is we've got teenage millionaires. You know, we've got 500 billion Davos in the desert. We got a guy 2 weeks ago did 3 deals in a week. 6 million, 50 million, 500 million. Same guy, a Canadian, another Canadian. Same guy. You can't hit it for 6. That's a cricket term. Or hit a home run unless you're at the plate swinging. I'm still swinging. I mean, and these kids still swing.
Okay. Last question is Pena, thank you. There's 50% divorce rate at the castle because we all marry and have kids for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
What's the reference for knowing that the right reasons?
Well, now the evidence is you tell me. You fill out about that much paperwork to come to the castle. Personal questions you've never been asked before. You say it. What's your biggest, I ask you what your parents' biggest regret are. Guess what? Marrying your father, you fucking morons. Not leaving your father, hoping your father died sooner than he did. Oh, do you think I make this shit up? How do I know? You tell me. And then there's a section in the bottom of the weekly report, which is because of Lurch over there, Adam, one of my Polish mentees. He said, you know, I bet the report would be even more telling if we added this. 4 or 5 months ago? And it was, what am I not telling Mr. Pena? Fuck. I mean, that question just opened up Pandora's box.